Welcome back to the E.J. Ward FieldView training series. In this video, we're going to be going over reports. Now to get to our report section, just open up the reporting folder, and here we have all the different sections inside of reports. So the first thing that we have is create, which will allow us to create a report, which we'll go over in another video. We have our regular canned reports that we have already in the system. We have grids, we have pivot grids, and then schedule reports where we can schedule out reports. In this video, we're going to be going over the regular reports. So go ahead and click on reports. Once reports comes up, you have all of the reports that are inside of the system that you're allowed to see. So when you create a report, you can set it for private, and let's say that I created a report and set it for private, I would be able to see that report, but nobody else would. Also, when they're setting up roles or your administrator setting up roles, you can set to see certain reports and not see others. So to run a report, you simply just click on it. So we're going to go ahead and do a transaction report. We can type in transaction here. It's going to search through all of the reports that have transactions inside of them. And then we can go ahead and let's do a transactions by date and time. Once the report loads up, it's going to give you a query form right off the bat. Every query form is going to be different for every report. If you want to change what's in the query form, you'll have to contact tech support and we'll be able to do that for you. Typically, it's going to take a scope of work and a quote to be able to do that. But most of these reports have quite a few things to search for in the query form. We can close this if we want to right off the bat, but since this is a report that's already made, we're going to go ahead and put a quick date setting here. So the quick date is just going to allow you to do last 7 days, last 30 days. You don't have to actually put in the dates. So I'm going to do the last 7 calendar days. It's going to automatically put that in for me. And then I don't want to query anything else. I'm good with the way it shows. The difference between reports and all the other query boxes that you've seen in the grids and what we'll see in the grid reports as well as the pivot grids is that we can do a summary only with the regular style report. A summary only is just going to show you the bottom of each group. So it's going to show you a summary of each group and depending on what is actually being summed up. So let's say it's the quantity for transactions. So it's going to sum the quantity up and it's just going to show you every single group that's in there. Where this one's not being grouped by anything, it's just being sorted by date and time. So we would only see the bottom of the report here. Once you have everything set the way that you want, go ahead and hit refresh report. Once we have refresh report selected, it's going to fill out the entire report for you. So this is what our regular report looks like. It's kind of a PDF, kind of pen and paper style report. It doesn't have the grids like our grid reports do. The grid reports are going to look more familiar to you because it's the same grids that we've been looking at throughout the entire system. And then we have pivot grids that we'll go over in another video. So up here you have basically a PDF viewer or most PDF viewers that you've seen. We can actually do a search with the binoculars here. So you can display the search window and you can actually search throughout the entire report for a certain set of words or numbers or characters. We have the print button, which is going to print the entire report, and then you have the one with the number 1 in front of it, which is only going to print the current page that you're sitting on. You have your 2 left arrows to go back to the page. The arrow with the actual line on it is going to go to the first page. You can go back 1 page. You can actually drop down and select the page number. So this one actually has 5 pages. You can also see how many pages it has after the letter of. Is going to tell you how many pages. So we have 1 out of 5. And I can go straight to page 3 if I want to, or I can go to page 5 at the very end. And then I can just click back to go through those pages individually if I want to, or I can click on the arrows with the lines to either go to the last page or go to the first page. And as you can see, the arrows will gray out once I'm at that first page. I can't go back any further or can't go to the first page because I'm already there. And then if I go to the last page, it's not going to allow me to go forward anymore to the next page or go to the last page. So we're going to go ahead and go back to the first page here. The next set of icons that we have here are 2 discs. This disc, without the actual piece of paper in front of it, is to save the report. So we can save this to a disk so that we can send it out, email it out however we want to. The next one is actually, it'll save it and then it'll run the report in a new window again. Next to that, we have what it's going to save it as. So we have our PDF style. We have the 2 Excel styles, so it's the regular Excel or an Excel X. We have the rich text format. We have your MHT and your HTML format for web style if you wanted to actually put this on a web page or something of that nature. We have a regular text format, which is just your TXT. You have a comma separated value file type, and then you have your image, which saves it as a .jpeg. This is more than what we can typically get from the export, and it's going to be more than what we can get from the grid reports and the pivot grids. I would recommend, in my opinion, with these styles of reports, if you don't want anybody changing the data, that I would put it to a PDF. If you do, you can put it to an Excel or any of the other formats, and that way you could be able to change data besides the image. So the image and the PDF are the 2 ones that you want to put in there if you don't want anybody to change any data. The last thing that we have is the query button. And with the query button, you can go back to that query setting and you can change up the data the way that you want. If we go to the last page here, you're going to see down here is where the summary is at. So we're doing a report summary here. It's over the entire report, and it does the sum volume and sum of the price. So we can see for the entire report what the volume was and what the price was all added together. If we click on query and go all the way to the bottom and click on show summary only and refresh report, it's only going to show us that bottom part. For other reports that are grouped by something, we're going to see each group there and then the report summary at the very bottom as well. So let's go ahead and uncheck the summary. And you can see that it unchecks automatically, so we just need to refresh it again. And now we can see the entire report. So if you want to save it, just click it, and it's going to give you a pop-up box to save it, just like any other program that you've probably used. And you'll be able to save it to your hard drive and then email that out to other people. So this concludes the video on how to run reports inside of FuelView. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.